Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, usually I spoil you a whole lot more and you get Dr. Andrea Vaughn Givens. But today I'm going to take it to a whole new level because this gentleman is fired up about tonight's topic. And the reason I'm saying that, not only he is the co-founder of Global Impact Wellness Group right in Maryland and expanding in different parts of the country, but he is a father of amazing children. He is extremely passionate about making sure that they have all things that they can while maintaining discipline at its highest level. He and I share a lot of the core values of parenting. Now, I myself, and many of you may or may not know my story, I had a destroyed relationship growing up with my father. He left, and then he was just mom, and then mom left, and then he was the dad and stepmom, and then we became homeless for 3 years, and then he was just mom and stepdad, and then dad came back. Anyway, I'm not trying to confuse you. This is going to be an episode dedicated to all things behavior and children, and having a role model or paternal or even maternal figure that is actively parenting that child and its long-term impact on what it means for that child to grow with anxiety, with fear, with trauma, or success and ambition and vision mindset. So first and foremost, Mr. Vaughn, thank you for dedicating the time. How are you feeling today?
Man, I'm phenomenal, man. I'm loving this topic and ready to dig in, man. I'm excited to be able to help and bless families out there.
Love it. All right, well let's get right into it. Tell me a little bit about your growing up, and the reason I'm saying that, you know, from the outside looking in, the world sees you as the perfect image. He's got it all. He, you know, grew with it all. At least that's the perception, right? Like he
Awesome.
was
Yeah.
he was born, you know, and day one, and they're like credit score 800. You know, he was
Yeah.
born and he had the bank account already set up. So talk to me a little bit about your, you know, just to give some context
Yeah.
to the people as to why we're having this conversation. Your background as a child and what it was like at home.
It was funny because, you know, growing up, I grew up in a 2-parent home. And, you know, I remember bringing a lot of my friends and they were like, man, I've never seen a father cook breakfast. And, you know, so they learned a lot through my upbringing. And, you know, I was provided for. If there were any struggles, they hid it from us, which I know they were now, but they hid it from us. We were never lacking anything. And even with that structure, we still struggled in areas with behavior, right? And so that's not even enough. And so I couldn't imagine where today, you know, some parents are smoking with their children and they're trying to parent their children and hold them accountable. The teachers can't get in touch with them, right? And it's no accountability. So how are you going to battle that? I mean, I was a hard enough case and I had 2 parents in the home. Can you imagine if I didn't have the 2 parents in the home, or I didn't have people in the village sewing into me and helping me, right? Because it just can't be you. It takes a whole village to raise a child. On how my trajectory of my life would be if I didn't have those things. I mean, I just attended a funeral of a mentor who his son was mentoring me since I was 9 years of old. And so
Wow.
and he was a big part of my upbringing, even though I had 2 parents in this day and age. And 40 years ago, you needed 2 parents in the household. You needed a neighbor up the street and cross the street. I never forget, my sister and I missed the bus. We thought we was going to go back in the house. We were like, oh, we missed the bus. You know, our parents already work, right? So we just going to go home. And one of the neighbors goes, oh, no, what y'all doing? I'm going to take you to school. That's when the real true principle of it takes a whole village to raise a child really kicked in. But if we didn't have that, and we had all of those things and still screwed up, right? And so it's just like one of those things that kids are at a big disadvantage and parents are at a big disadvantage if you're not allowing others, folks in the village, to help raise your children, because you're absolutely needed.
Wow. Oh, well, I wasn't. Well, let me rephrase that. First and foremost, because the benefit now is I have a buy one get one free. I have Baba, which is in Moroccan dad. I have Walida, which is a formal way of saying mother, without saying mom, just because I love my stepmom and she stepped into a very uncomfortable situation. Then I have Mama, which is mom, and then I have Dad, which is the American dad that adopted us, when we came to the States. So they all get along. Thanksgiving, Christmas, Moroccan holidays, you name it. One is Catholic, one is Muslim. That's my mom and my dad. Another one is Muslim, and another one doesn't believe in anything. That is my stepmom and my dad. But when I say, it's everybody loves everybody, right? Everybody gets along. So where we are right now, in a very good place.
Yeah.
But since 8 years old, there was no Bubba, right, in life, and it forced us in a very uncomfortable situation. Mom wasn't working. We're talking about a third world country. Dog eat dog, truly dog eat dog, where a 7-8-year-old kid had to sell his bicycle and his, once upon a time, his video games, and he was the coolest kid, and dad had all the money, just disappeared. So we created this sense of rejection. That was the first thing. But then a very vulnerable mindset that started to chase after anybody that would fill that void of the man that once upon a time said, I love you, you are everything to me. And it led to a lot of mistakes. It led a lot of decisions, trusting the wrong people, even up to my adulthood life. I'll see a CEO of a company that's like, Ali, just give us 1 year and you'll be making $10 million a year with us. I'm like, yes, sir. Because in my mind, finally, the father that I was waiting for is here, while all along, I was getting played. So it's extremely important to be present in your child's life, even if you and the missus or the ex or whatever the relationship is are not together, because the impact that you are making on that child is criminal. And what I mean by that, the child might look from the outside like they're eating, they're dressed, they're going to school, everything is fine. But the moment that child starts to think for him or herself, the moment the teens kick in, the moment hormones kick in, the moments, where you start questioning everything and everyone, that's why many kids end up using, whether it's, recreational marijuana or hard drugs, whether it's drinking, whether getting involved in, bad influences and whatnot. Do you really know why? Somebody said, I love you and I got your back. It's like that example that there was a guy that went to church for the very first time, and then his wife was making fun of him in the middle. Like, how could you show up in the congregation dressed like this? Well, he got ticked off, went immediately to a bar after that. And then he's head down and like, Bartley, you good, man? He's like, yeah, just a crappy day. He's like, I'll tell you what, man, this one is on me. He's like, no, you don't have to. Like, your family here, this one is on me. Then somebody from the other side heard him. Is like, is he good? He goes like, he's just having a rough one. It's like, the next one is on me. Guess what? He became a regular and showed up to that bar every day.
Wow. Because of love.
The love that he's gotten from a stranger fulfilled what he was hoping to get in the house of God with his own people. So, not to get too long-winded, the importance of being present in a child's life and giving him true unconditional love, no matter what, whether we're broke or we have it, whether I'm successful or not, whether we can eat every day or we're just barely making it, that love matters. Words matter. It does impact. I know in Global Impact Wellness, you and Dr. G have organized, along with the team and the partners, many events specifically for the youth. What was the motivation on focusing on the youth just as much as you are focusing on the adult patients?
I just want to say to you that sometimes when life show up and we feel depressed, we angry, we frustrated, we confused, we having suicidal thoughts, we dealing with mental health issues, challenges, and demons. I want you to know that I've been there. I'm that person. I had them issues. I had them challenges. I went through all of those struggles, man, to try to get my mind clear, get my spirit right, get my heart right, man, get focused back on life. And it took me having to go to treatment, man. I had to go away to treatment where I went to groups and I went to counseling and I went to therapy. I went to mental health counseling. I had a psychologist. I took medication, because at one time, man, suicide seemed like the opportune way to fix the mess that I had made in my life. But because I heard someone say that treatment is available and that treatment worked, that I gave it a shot, man. I gave it a chance, and I decided to go into a treatment facility, man, where some people was able to love me until I learned how to love myself. And through that, man, I went to school. I got educated about the disease of addiction, about mental health. And now I stand here today, and I want to let you know that I am you. And I stand here today, man, and I am so proud to be a part of the solution and not the problem. I'm helping people here at Global Impact Wellness Group, man, transition their lives, become whole and well once again. It's a beautiful thing. Treatment work, treatment is available. If you're struggling with anything, give us a call here at Global. We got you.
Well, the youth are our future, and they don't have a choice in the matter. Adults sometimes have a choice in what they can do. The youth are only following what they see. And so it's very important, especially in parenting and dealing with youth, because we have to father other people's children in this day and age. And so it's important to show up. When you show up, and I never forget that I went down to a school, Harlem Park, and just showed up at their basketball game. They were just so shocked that I would just show up when, they said no fans were available for this game. And I was happy to see somebody I went to college with, and they let me in, and they was like, wow. And then they were looking, and I had to show up, but because the game started, I had to leave, and I just didn't want to leave early. And you could see them like, where you going? Because people are not showing up for, so I think it's very important to show up when you're parenting, wherever you're parenting, when you're giving advice, making sure you're shooting straight and providing a safe space for these kids, because, we allow the folks that we work with to be kids again, to be children, to go out, play kickball, throw the football, things that they normally don't do. And that's what a lot of folks refer people to a program, because they say, man, the kids said, man, they just had good kid fun, because these kids have to grow up. I remember I was teaching second grade, and parents were putting BGE bills in their children's name. They're trying to grow up. And I'm like, wow, and so we would hold them accountable and say, listen, you're claiming these children on your taxes. You're going to be accountable. I'm holding you. We're both going to be accountable to their success. And that's what we need. We need more teachers and adults and the principal and their parents working together instead of blame game, right? Putting a blame game. And then what kids do, they see that confusion, and they know how to manipulate confusion, right? And so but if you all stick together in this high level communication, then that's when the magic can happen. And you can shift any kid, right? You can shift out, getting to that core, seeing what their real deal is. And then if you stay long enough, they're going to tell you. And they're going to tell you on their time, but they will tell you. And so stay a little while and join the movement of really making a difference in a lot of kids' life, because it makes a difference between one parent home, two parent with the village, right? Different activities. And you saw they would create, in Baltimore, they were closing down recreation centers. And so what are the kids going to do? Right. And so we have to make sure that we stand for something, or we'll fall for anything. And I think
Yeah.
Martin Luther King said that, and I'm a firm believer in it.
Well, without a doubt, the other component to this is um, making sure that we are parenting from a parent seat. What I mean by that, I'm involved in coaching kids in soccer. My son's in January he's gonna start basketball, and I was like, hey, can I coach? They're like, yeah, absolutely. We don't know what we're doing, so we need some. I'm like, I don't know either, but I'll be there. And the joy in my son just knowing like we're gonna do this together,
Yeah.
like I started MMA 2 years ago, 3 years ago now, because my son was just going and kicking the things, and all of a sudden on Father's Day I get on the mat because it was Father's Day special, and he was so happy that I was
Oh,
grappling with him the whole time. And I was like, yeah, because a father and a son grappling and
yeah.
falling up, they
Yeah.
love that stuff. So I joined, right? So the point that I'm trying to make is I don't think, and please correct me if I'm wrong, I don't think there are bad children. I think there's bad parenting or missing parenting. Uh, Global Impact Wellness takes pride in this filling the void or filling a space, of a parent. I've witnessed it myself. I've seen Dr. G getting in Six Flag rides, with different kids, and she had no business to go on a ride. She could have enjoyed her day off, but She showed up and got in the rides and played with the kids and advised them and talked to them in a motherly fashion. Hey, well, we don't do that.
Yep.
Relax, right? I've seen you throw the football. I've seen you mess around with the kids and getting them excited. I've seen you invest your money, time, energy, resources, on a Zoom and, with the entrepreneurial kids, So how important is it? Like, I want you to help me out here to set the tone for these parents who justify their behavior as, he's gonna grow up or she's gonna grow up, or it's time for them to toughen up and whatnot. Like, a kid is still a kid, no matter what you think toughening them up is going to be like.
Yep. Now, I would just urge parents, don't rob your children of being kids. Like we're robbing them. We're growing up, and now even with social media, social media platforms, you have kids on the same platforms with adults, and they're seeing the same content. And so now they're growing up, they're cursing more, they're doing all these things, and you wonder like, what? Where did you learn that from? But you allowed them to be on the same social media platforms that you listen to. So everything that's unfiltered that you listen to, they listen to too.
Yeah, yeah.
And that's robbing kids of being a kid. And so, I just hope and pray that, we look at what we're doing, how it's affecting our youth, how it's affecting the adolescents, how it's affecting even their growth and their trajectory of their future, right? Because of the seeds that we're planting in at an age that they're not ready for. They're getting information that they're not simply ready for. And now we're forcing them into adulthood where they haven't been mastered the childhood. It's almost like skipping someone who doesn't need to be skipped to another grade. And now we're pushing them and wondering why at 19 and 20, they didn't go to college. They didn't go get a trade school. They're just stuck. And you're saying, you got to get out of my house, but you didn't properly plan and prepare for them. And that's why, my daughter said something amazing that I think is important. Outside of the business, they have a trajectory of entrepreneurship, but they got their first job. Everybody, I had a first job. Everybody has a first job. Just so it's not in the household. It's not working for the family company. It's just you go get a job. And it was so funny because my daughter was excited. She got her first check. She said, because she was asking to reimburse me for something. I said, I appreciate it, but girl, bye. Right. Like, and so she said, I got my first check. She said, man, I got my first check. I'm employed and rich. I said, well, that don't really go together, but you know what I mean? But it's a start because you can be employed and be rich at the same time too with the right investments, right? But it's a different type of strategy, but it's just me, sewing into them and saying how much I'm proud of them and hard work and network. And then how will someone ever know that they're unemployable unless they've ever been employed? And so, that's the trajectory. They've always had businesses. Now they're looking at getting employed. And then when they got them taxes taken out the way they did, oh, wait a minute, is this going to happen every week? Right. And so it's good that they get to experience that, but it's all in parenting, delayed gratification, right? So even though, yes, I know they're going to be business owners, but I got to delay my gratification to let them go through their process.
Yeah.
Like I went through my process, right?
Yeah.
And so that's what's important.
I appreciate that. And to also highlight, parents, don't put pressure on your children because you want to live your dream through them.
Through them.
And
Oh,
I think
God.
I think we see that in sports, like, yeah, as a youth soccer coach myself, I have to coach the parents 90% of the time,
Wow.
like I will walk all the way across to the other side, and I'm like, look, he's 7, and that ball in front of him, he has so many choices. So he's like, do I run? Do I kick? Do I pass? Do I shoot? Do I look up? Do I look down? Do I send it backwards? What, and then here you are, parents, shoot it, run, jump, down, don't. I'm like, you are robbing him from the ability to create a decision-making mechanism. So do me a favor, let him be a kid. And this is why kids, put their head down and they're disappointed because you know what they're hearing? You're disappointing me because you're not doing what I'm telling you from the sidelines.
Wow.
And all of that just because you thought I see myself all over again.
Wow.
And I'm telling my inner child right now to do better than I ever done in my past.
Yeah.
And that is robbery. And we do that in sports because that's where we get passionate. But trust me when I tell you, we do it everywhere else. We want to raise perfect children. And look, I want my kid to be the best that he can be. but we also have to understand how to mitigate their mistakes.
Are you the type of agency that has clients that you really want them to have that extra support? But in having that extra support, you're worried about paperwork, you're worried about the responsibilities of communication. Well, at Global Impact Wellness Group, you do not have to worry about that because we take all of the paperwork, all of the hassle, all of the communication challenges out of the way. Please, if you have clients, please give us a call.
Yeah.
You know, my daughter, 5 years old, going to school on Monday, and I mean, she had me in tears. She was like, "I feel like I'm a bad girl." I was like, "Why would you say that?" She goes like, "Because every morning when I'm having breakfast, you and mama get mad at me because I'm always late." Now, I was like, "Well, why are you always late?" Because you're like, "I don't finish my breakfast." And I'm like, "Why you don't finish your breakfast?" Here's what she said: "Because I don't like eggs."
Oh my God.
Problem solved. Now,
And
here's what we do as parents. We put that plate in front of a child and say, "Eat it, eat it." Now, I learned from Celia Kibler, which you remember you met. She's an expert when it
yeah,
comes to
yes,
parenting.
yes.
She said, "What is it that you don't like to eat?" I'm like, there's a few things, not many. She goes like, "Whatever you hate." I'm like,
Wow.
I would never eat frog leg frog, what, none of that stuff, She goes like, "What if I put it in front of you and I keep screaming, you gotta finish it. Come on, hurry up. You gotta finish it." I was like, I'm gonna say, you better back off. The
Wow.
child is scared of you, parent, that they're not telling you better back off. But one day they're gonna grow and realize, I'm as tall, I'm as big. Now I'm gonna tell you, better back off. And you just ruined a relationship that you could have nurtured early on and taught them a lesson. So parents, ask how come. How come? I don't like school. How come? Not, well, you gotta go, because you know what you're telling that child when you say, well, you gotta go? You are oppressed. You have no choice. Shut it and go to the corner. And then automatically they're developing this mindset, either resentment to the adults, which when they grow up becomes resentment to police officers, it becomes resentment to teachers,
Oh
to
yeah.
bosses, to whatever it may be, or it becomes this, allow me to communicate why I don't like this thing. So just have a conversation. The other thing is they wake up sometimes at 2 o'clock in the morning, knock on the door in the bedroom. I'm like, what's wrong? You didn't say goodnight and kiss me.
Wow. Just the
Like,
simplest things.
simple little thing for a child to tell you that. And I literally went through a 3-day seminar with Celia just to learn what is it to parent, understand that there are no bad kids, just bad parenting. No bad parents, don't
Yeah.
confuse me, I didn't say bad parents, just bad parenting.
Yeah.
Mr. Vaughn, what are some of the programs, child focused programs, that you can share that Global focuses on, provides, and takes pride on?
Yeah, we have a PRP, which is psychiatric rehabilitation program, kind of like a case management, where it's more of a one-on-one, help them focus, whether we're helping with homework or if they're in teenagers, helping them, find a job, employment, help them, if they going through, different trials and tribulations. They're partnered with a therapist in our OMHC where they can talk to someone as well on a one-on-one basis. We also have our SUD, which is substance use disorder, where we have a drug prevention program for our youth, because right now, kids are indulgent, and some of them are, again, indulgent with their parents. And so what do you do? And so we need some real aggressive, real-time strategies to help combat that. And we are providing safe spaces where they feel comfortable to share where they are, not to fabricate and because they don't want to share, they don't want to get in trouble, but to share exactly where they are. And that's why I love what our counselors do. Coach Sonny, Carla, they're so phenomenal. You've met them, you've seen them, you sat in class, and they just do what they do on a daily basis. And so we're excited about that. So we have our PRP, our OMHC, and SUD, and we work with the kids. That's our passion, and we're fired up.
Love that. And just for the record, I remember when my father had, he's a little bit lighter on the bottle, not as heavy, but he used to be heavy. I'm talking about a Black Label per night, a full
Mhm.
liter. It was that bad. And he would sit me and my older brother and say, a man never lets another man drink or smoke alone. Now, at the time, I was 6, 7, maybe. See what I did, kids? 6, 7. It
Oh
just came
yeah.
organically.
Man.
Um, yeah, so I was right around that age, and he used to, like, literally will hand you. He was drunk, sick, and he'll hand you a cigarette, and you better smoke it or drink with him at 7 years old. And if you didn't, you get beat up. So trust me when I tell you, if your child is smoking or drinking or indulging, as you used it to be politically correct, in your home, it's not because they're enjoying it. It's because they're pleasing you, and or they're afraid of your disappointment in them. So respectfully, you can heal, help, nurture, grow, and increase the opportunities for that child. Because look, I don't have a problem with recreational. Man, have at it. Enjoy yourself. As a matter of fact, it's healthier than drinking alcohol. But if that kid has an opportunity, how many basketball players ruined their careers because they got caught by the NBA smoking?
Yep.
How many NFL players got in trouble? How many got completely out of the league because they could not stay away on the offseason from smoking? So you can create a better opportunity by showcasing and teaching discipline over just saying, it's okay, it's normal, everybody does it. No, extraordinary does not do anything ordinary, because there's that word extra. So it's hard, it's difficult, it's complicated, but you want an extraordinary life for that child, do the extra things, Dad. Do the extra things, Mom. That was good. I felt good about that. Mr. Vaughn, give us some closing remarks for parents and for the youth.
Yeah, no, for my parents, just don't give up on your kids. Provide experiences and opportunity. Don't just give them the things, right? Don't give them a fish. Teach them how to fish so they can fish for a lifetime. So many parents, they just hand over and they want to be that problem solver. So they jump to try to solve their problems 100% of the time, and you're robbing them of their self-esteem. And so let them build character, let them build self-esteem, because they have to face these live challenges in real time, because you're not going to always be there, right? And to my kids, right, is respect your adults. Let's go back to the old time and respect adults, and only the adults that need to be respected. The folks are not giving you respect. They still got to earn your respect. But respect the folks that are sowing into you, pouring into you. We did that entrepreneurship camp all week, and we just learned so much. Kids are so smart, and they have opportunities, but we didn't baby them. We held them accountable. When they did something great, they earned money. When they did not, we took away, because we wanted to have real life. It's too many parents that are not giving kids the opportunity to really live their lives. And now, even as adults, they're still struggling on their own, and you're still trying to save them. I remember being in college. Can you believe they put me out of college? I never called my mother. I found a job. I found a place in the trailer home. I did what I had to do, and I still graduated with my sister, even though I was out a whole semester, because I want to make it happen, because my parents allowed me to build character. They didn't rob me of my self-esteem. That's the biggest problem that I see, that parents think they're helping, but they're really hurting, because they're robbing their kids of the opportunity to build their character and their self-esteem. So that's it, and that's all.
And there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. Make sure that not only you subscribe to the Global Impact, but I believe this is episode 13 or 14. There are incredible amount of information, data, references, information, resources that are available to you. So please make sure you subscribe, and then we monitor the comments. So if you have a direct question, obviously feel free to comment, reach out, and we are on every platform that you can think of. There's even a blog that is on globalimpactwellness.com, and the blog itself, we list every single data, information, report, whatever you need, so you can get educated and, of course, make the right decision. And, of course, in globalimpactwellness.com, you can also get a complimentary evaluation, have a conversation with somebody, whether it is for you or for a child, whether it is substance abuse, behavioral issues, or it is mental health overall. globalimpactwellness.com got you covered. My name is Ali Madawi. He goes by Andre Vaughn. And until next time, have a blessed day, everybody.
Peace.
Let's be honest. Hormonal changes can feel like a roller coaster. Mood swings, hot flashes, feeling off, even when everything seems fine. That's why we created Flirtray, a plant-powered daily supplement designed to support women through every stage of hormonal change. Flirtray is more than a supplement. It's a daily formula crafted to help you glow. not just cope. It supports healthy hormone balance, eases occasional mood swings, and helps reduce hot flashes. You'll also get support for your metabolism, all in one convenient product. Whether you're entering perimenopause, navigating menopause, or just wanting better balance, Fleur meets you where you are. Let's talk about what's inside, because every ingredient serves a purpose. Maca root and ashwagandha help support energy, stress resilience, and mood. Red clover and black cohosh are traditionally used to ease hot flashes. Magnesium glycinate helps support calmness, rest, and muscle relaxation. Flaxseed, evening primrose, and sage help maintain hormonal balance and skin health. And bioperine enhances nutrient absorption for maximum benefit. Plus, Fleur includes a variety of other powerful botanicals like wild yam, dong quai, grapeseed, dim, and more, all working together to support your body naturally. It's all plant-based, thoughtfully formulated, and rooted in natural support. Thousands of women are already making the shift and choosing to feel balanced, beautiful, and unbothered. Ready to glow through the change? Ask about Fleur today and experience the difference for yourself.